Tonight, we discuss the huge letdown performance against UNC and where the program goes from here. Also, we'll have our second Mincer's moment. Who gets that honor this week? Find out on the Cavalier Connection right now. Welcome into today's episode of the Cavalier Connection. I'm your host, Jeff, joined by Jay. Not a lot of positives to talk about tonight. I don't feel like today, recorded at night to release today. Try to get my words right here. Also, Jay, I got to figure a way to get our intro updated. Jack's going to be about 12 for the rest of his life. Jayton, I don't know how old Jayton is in that picture, but
he's pretty close. I think he's 10 in that picture. He's 11 now. So
that means Jack really shot up then, because he's a lot bigger than that now. So tonight we're going to talk about this unfortunate performance this past Saturday against the Tar Heels, and what was we said last week, a all caps must win game. And so we know tonight there's a lot of negativity a lot of times after an L like that, but we're going to get started with the positives. And so our positive is having our second Mincer's moment of the week. And UVA fans, are you looking for the best sportswear? Jay, I know you're looking for it.
Always.
Look no further than Mincer's UVA sportswear. Since 1948, they've been a proud part of the Cavalier community, offering high quality, well-designed, long-lasting apparel that's perfect for the game day and every day. Whether you need t-shirts, polos, sweatshirts, hats, or fun game day accessories, they've got you covered. Create an unforgettable family memory while showing off your UVA pride. And don't miss their amazing orange tag sales. There's always a way to save. And here, I just want to show you guys some of what they've got going on. This is ridiculous. As we scroll through, we got these nice Virginia sweatshirts. Look at this orange tag sale right here. Regular $85 for only $49.88. That quarter zip. Sweet.
Yeah, you can't see but that I'm pretty sure that's like a Nike pullover, type thing. And I love the seal on the left.
No doubt. Yep. As we scroll across, $24.88.
That's the classic right there.
And that's I love that.
That should be in every Virginia fan's closet.
That's right. That's right. I love that. $24.88. You can't beat that. If you go to Dick's, Jay, and you try to get a Virginia, or go to Fanatics, you're going to pay $60.
Go to Walmart. Go to Walmart. You're not paying less than that.
Mincer's $24.88. You can't beat that. Another one, with the Cavaliers down the sleeve right there. Another, only $24.88. Look at those prices. Regular $39.95. A nice, good old-fashioned T-shirt right there, $9.88. Regular $20. You can't beat it.
Nope.
And look at this, Jay.
Yeah.
Are you flipping kidding me? $44.95 regular price for $10. You can't beat that.
You can't beat that deal at all.
Yeah, so definitely head into Mincer's. Check out these sales, especially those orange tag sales. The Mincer's family, join the Mincer's family tradition and gear up with them today. Mincer's UVA Sportswear, where your school spirit meets style. And that leads us to this week's winner, which is J.R. Wilson, who got our only touchdown of the game Let's watch how he did that.
Banged up both your starting left tackles, or your first string and second string.
Busted coverage here, and Musket going to get a touchdown pass to J.R. Wilson. How about that? First touchdown of the game for UVA.
So that's J.R. Wilson. Congratulations on this week's Mincer's moment. We didn't have a lot of moments on Saturday, Jay. Watching that game and picking out a Mincer's moment this week was pretty dang easy.
Yeah, that one was tough as far as picking something out. The picking out part for the Mincer's moment was pretty easy. I didn't get to watch the game live, but I was aware of the result, so I had to watch the game knowing how the outcome was gonna go. You talk about only watching because I want to be able to speak in this podcast. Oh my gosh, it was brutal.
It was nice of you to watch just for the podcast because I know you knew the situation, what had happened, and we were texting.
Yeah,
and there was nothing good to talk about. You want to start out? Let's start out. I believe it was our first drive. We had the ball down at the 1, and it was first and goal from the 1.
First and goal from the 1. They had the Xavier Brown review. I think where he was
stepped out
right.
just at the 1.
Yep. He had reached out. He hit the pylon, but he had just hit out of bounds, just short. And dangerous play because he could have easily, you see that ball dropped a lot and fumbles through the end zone, and it's a touchback. But that didn't happen. You get first and goal at the 1, and obviously they're bringing in the Grady bunch, right?
Right.
That's what they did, right?
Right. Yeah. No, that's what they did. It's not what they did, folks.
Oh yeah, that's not what they did at all. Coach Elliott actually talked about it in the post game, as you were there. To me, that excuse of, and I think by now most people who are listening to this probably have heard, but Brian Stevens was announced out on Friday afternoon, and they hadn't had time to practice Josie snapping and running that play. I don't, I'm not a football coach, but if you're my center, granted the third string center, but if you're my center and I can't count on you to snap the ball to the quarterback under center and then just move forward as low as you possibly can.
Jay, how long since, all right, Mincer's has been providing services since 1948. I want to say at a minimum, since 1948, teams have run QB sneaks.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Probably dated way back before that.
Correct.
It don't have to be the Grady bunch, but all the Grady bunch is a quarterback sneak with 2 people behind him pushing.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
So it's like, come on. Like,
so you telling me
to double down and say, I stand by the decision, like I would do it again. No, say I made a mistake.
Right.
And that you take blame and you come out and apologize to the administration, the fans, everybody there, all that. But to say to double down on that, to say, yeah, I mean, I stand by it. No, that's a mistake. Just admit the mistake.
The snap. I mean, when you're snapping, if you're out third, so you telling me about the practice, you got a third string center, and so now we're going to snap further back. Like I get, we run a shotgun offense most of the time, but we also run that Grady bunch. It's a QB sneak. It's a souped up QB sneak. If you can't, so you telling me one of the most basic plays in the playbook, you got to take it out because the third string center can't do that?
Right. He's not a center if he can't do that.
It's not a great answer. I mean, I know he knew he was going to have to answer that. He said it. He said, I knew that question was coming.
Right. And that's why you say, looking back, I wish we'd have called that. We had our reasons for not. And if you want to give that reason, then so be it. You can say, but daggone it, that's a mistake. Just admit it.
Because if you look at the game, we kick the ball off and we get them 3 and out, and then we go right down the field, and you got to have a great feeling.
If you score there, I'm not going to say we win that game, but the whole vibe has changed.
Correct. And real quick, I want to mention we had it was our biggest crowd of the year. I mean,
Yeah, 44,000 announced.
45 change was announced or whatever it was, but it's nothing to click your heels about. But at the same time, we've been talking about the crowd sizes. The crowd showed up, and we talk about the students leaving at halftime, but you don't blame them.
Well, the team didn't show up for this one.
Correct.
I mean, they just flat out didn't show up at all.
So, as we're talking, thoughts on Anthony Cavalier. He struggled mightily in this football game between not having time to throw and possibly I'll let you get into it. Tell me what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, it was a combination, but he wasn't good, and the offensive line didn't do him any favors. I mean, when you get sacked 10 times, yes, I get it. But let's look at, I think it was either that first possession earlier or if it was in the second. It was very early in the game when it was still a very much competitive game. Malachi breaks down the right sideline. He's open, and he throws the ball 10 yards out of the back of the end zone. It's not even remotely close, and he had all the time in the world. So it's not all. You can't say it's all. Well, he didn't have time. He's running for his life. Blah blah blah. That was some of it, and I know we got run down of things. There's a myriad of issues. So why are we calling plays where he's getting sacked 10 times? Why not just dedicate yourself? I mean, look at what North Carolina has given up on the ground. The numbers are atrocious. I mean, their running defense is horrible, and we really never even. I mean, if you tell me we tried to establish the run, I would say we gave up way too soon. But I can't honestly sit here and say that we ever tried to really establish the run.
No, not at all. We were looking at the stats during the game, and at halftime, it's like Pace, I believe, had maybe 5 carries. Xavier Brown didn't have a carry in the game until definitely in the second quarter, I believe it was. And Cavalier, and I know sacks count as carries, he had 13. And this is in the first half. I want to say in the first half. At the point I was looking at the stats, I'm like, man, why did we abandon the run?
Yeah.
And one more thing, I've seen a couple times, but we talked to the Hill brothers last week, and one of the things they said the struggle is the wide receivers out of the backfield catching passes. And I would thought, and listen, I'm not a football expert by far. I'm not an X's and O's guy, so this is just a fan's opinion and what a fan sees. You say you want to get Tyree involved. How about we haven't lined him up in the backfield?
No, and he played running back at Notre Dame.
Correct. Have him line up in the backfield, get him the ball in space, run a screen, run some of those wheel routes. I don't know. When
they ran the wheel route to Xavier, he almost scored the touchdown, and I don't believe they ran it again.
I think they tried it one more time, and it was open. It was a bad throw. I told Jack when Xavier almost took that to the house, I said, man, Jack, the Hill brothers told us that the wheel route, they're terrible at the wheel route, and here we did it early. I said, I guess Coach Elliott or Kitchen, somebody has been paying attention. But we really didn't see it again. There's just no identity. There's no offensive identity at all. We brought all these transfer receivers in, a veteran offensive line. I think you mentioned, Jay, 43 seniors on this team. And we just don't have an identity. I don't see the team's identity on offense. I don't know. And then the sacks you mentioned, you're giving up to 10 sacks. And all of that's definitely not on the offensive line, in my opinion. Calanger's just got to get rid of the football. There were times I'm looking, and I see guys he could throw the ball to, or you just got to get the ball out of your hands. Taking 10 sacks, because and I know we talked about this last week, how the team moved the ball against Clemson with Musket, and we said they're facing 4- and 5-star defenders. He's still facing. And Saturday he's not facing 4- and 5-star defenders, and they're into a little bit of a prevent mode, but he's still getting the ball out of his hands. Just make a decisive decision and get the ball out of your hands. And I don't know why Coach didn't go to Musket sooner.
Yeah.
And try to salvage the game.
He talked about that in the post game too, where, you know, they thought because the O-line struggled so mightily that his mobility would give him the best chance. But going back to the sacks real quick, one of the things that kills me with Calandria, and he's done this multiple times this year, is he wheels out to the right. Everybody knows he wants to wheel out to the right. He wheels out to the right and he kills time. And then instead of throwing the ball away, he'll just run out of bounds 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage and just give them a sack. When you're outside of the pocket, he did throw it away a couple times this game, but there was at least once where he took a sack. I'm going to call it a sack. It was a loss of, 5 or 6. When it was totally unnecessary. Just throw the ball out of bounds, before you get to the out of bounds.
What happened to that guy?
I was going to say, Jeff, I said it was about 3, 4, or 5 episodes ago where I said I'm going to whisper this part because it was after a win.
Oh, yeah.
But I said, Calandria he ain't playing that good.
He's not. And we were called clowns.
Yeah, we were called clowns.
Just asking the question.
Yeah.
Also on Elliott saying about the mobility, Musket is not chopped liver, as they say.
No.
The dude can move.
He's got some wheels.
He does. Listen, at the start of the year when there was a quarterback competition, Calandria showed us something last year, a lot of potential. And our thought process was, well, we need to go Calandria because I don't want him to transfer out.
Right.
And listen, he's still just a sophomore, but maybe like the next guy up, man up.
Well, I was gonna say I don't want him to transfer, but here's the thing. I'm not going to coach one down worrying about it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want him to transfer, but I'm not going to coach. But earlier on before the season, my mindset was if the guys are close, give Calandria the job. I don't want the guy to transfer out. I see 100%. A lot of potential. I'm just having to learn. Like, this is the nature of college sports.
Yep.
The transfer portal is part of it.
If he left,
learn to deal with it.
Guess what? Somebody's going under center next year for us.
Correct.
And they can probably win 3 games.
Correct.
Probably.
And that's where we're at here. So we've talked about quarterback play. We've talked about the sacks. I do want to mention, I'm not sure if there could potentially be some locker room issues. I don't know. Tyler Neville. Well, first of all, Coach Elliott in the post game talked about, it was weird to me, but making sure these guys are still together, because I did not see where the incident happened with Mikhail, friend of the show. And I think what I've read, maybe he had given up a sack, but he was fired up. He didn't like the effort in that interception in the first half to go get that lineman.
No, well, the interception was in the second half, but
it was the second half? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. So I'm not sure. I wish we could have probably reached out to some of our sources inside, but with that situation, we know he's such a nice guy.
Right.
Like, he got beat for 2 sacks, back-to-back plays.
Right.
When they come off the field, that's when the issue occurred.
Right.
So if it was just the coach coaching him or getting on him for giving up the sacks, then that's horrible look. Right. Friend of the show or not, that's a bad look. If it was something going more than that, like somebody else wasn't giving effort, because you look back at that interception that went for 6, that dude rumbled and stumbled 85 yards, and he's like a 300-pounder. Right. He was begging somebody to tackle him. I think he might still be on oxygen at this point. I
couldn't believe he got all the way.
He only got that far because nobody put in the effort to chase him. But Calandria went for his legs. He kind of missed him. I'm going to give Calandria a pass. He at least put in an attempt. And then Boley busted his tail and got clocked. He just got, the guy had a full head of steam. He's not used to chasing somebody down. Boley gave 100% effort, in my opinion.
Correct.
You don't see anybody else come in that frame until Malachi Fields gets there as he's crossing the goal line. And I didn't see this, but I read somewhere, I think I read it. I don't want to say it was on Ball Hawks podcast and be wrong. So I'm not going to say that. I either read it or heard it somewhere that there were guys already back on our sideline when the guy crossed the goal line, meaning they had quit on the play and were just getting off the field.
Right.
It's unacceptable.
And I know Tyler Neville after the game when he was talking, and they all say the right things, and he said that they didn't perform for Coach Elliott. Yeah. But the question was, is Coach Elliott, is he losing the locker room if players are stepping off the field?
2 weeks in a row that you've had to kick somebody off. And to be clear, it's football. People get heated all the time at coaches. You see it all the time in the NFL.
Andy Reid.
Right. Yeah. Travis Kelce in the Super Bowl. He bumped him. So it's nothing like that. And I don't know what was said. Elliott's down there. You got to trust his judgment in that situation. But the answer can't always be somebody says something to a coach. It can't just be go to the locker room all the time. Again, not saying that was the wrong decision at that particular point. And then I wish somebody would have asked him afterwards. He talked about it with Jay James. It was an issue that he would handle just like they handled with Ben Smiley the week before. But I wish he'd have been pressed on it a little bit. And then, just like, did he see anything in practice all week? Because they asked Tyler Neville that, but nobody asked Coach Elliott, did you see this coming? Because a lot of times when this happens, when you have a performance just that is so out of the blue from what you're expecting, the coach will say, yeah, I saw it coming. We had a horrible week of practice. Things just seemed off, whatever the case may be. And so I was curious if he saw it coming or if there was any indicators. But
they talked to every player they talked to after the game. They asked that question. Nobody saw that coming.
Yeah,
or they say that. I wouldn't. I don't know if they would say it if they saw it, but
maybe we should have seen that coming. And again, I can't claim it because I picked the Virginia to win in the article that I wrote. But Jeff, I painted a very glum picture in the preview episode, and I said, "Talk me off of this," and you gave me some hope. But it went kind of as I was worried it would.
Look, and we always hope we're going to be wrong. It's a tough schedule the rest of the way at Pitt, at Notre Dame, SMU, and at Virginia Tech. So Jay and I know we're a little bit on the older side. I see all the posts on X, Facebook, both ways between the folks who are pissed off and the folks who are like, what's wrong with you, blah, 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 type of stuff. Yeah. Like they'll pull it together. And a couple things on that. Number one, I'm not pissed off. I'm disappointed. Yeah. Jeff Lowe of 20 years ago would be pissed off. Jeff Lowe of 2024, I'm just disappointed because I want to win. And I want to be wrong. Yeah. Jeff Lowe of 2024 is Butch of 1995, breaking hearts and just kind of being real.
Yeah.
And I told Jack in the car ride home, and I said, and I'm sorry to all of you folks out there who aren't going to like this. Please tune back in for a more joyous episode, but we're not winning another game this year. I don't see it, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope we go 4-0. I just don't believe we're going to win another game this year. We're going to finish 4-8. We knew this was a possibility.
They go 4-0. Will you get a tattoo?
No, listen.
If they go 4-0, tattoo.
Tattoo. A tattoo of what?
The V and the Sabres.
The V and the Sabres. Yes, I'll get a tattoo of the V and the Sabres if we go 4-0.
All right. It's on the books.
It's on the books. Listen, and I hate to do that to Jack because I've had it done to me. When you're young and you're excited and to have somebody talk to you like that. And I was just being real, but I think it was the frustration coming out at that as well. I said, Jack, where's the win coming?
Yeah.
And he said, well, maybe SMU. And looking at the schedule, and SMU is good.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe
they're beatable.
They're our most winnable game. Them and at Pitt.
I would say Pitt is also winnable. And honestly, I think we play better on the road than we do at home.
If you look at it, just like last year, we beat North Carolina when they were number 10 on the road. So we could win another game. We could. I just don't expect it.
Right.
And then but his number 2 choice was at Virginia Tech. I said, Jack, tell me one reason you think we're going to beat Virginia Tech at Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
It pains me bad. I'm tired of losing them guys. We were at the last time they won at Virginia Tech, and we were in college.
I was going to say.
Now we're talking about retirement.
Many, many moons ago.
That's what makes it tough. And so I hate to break his heart like that. And furthermore, we got to look at this thing as a program. And it's just right now, it's just been some tough days. But you look at us as a program in the state of Virginia. And where do we rank in the state of Virginia?
I think we did this on the phone, and we came up with, at best, a tie for 5th.
I had them tied for 4th at best right now. And in front of us, I had Virginia Tech, JMU, Liberty, and then I had us tied with ODU.
Yeah,
and I believe right now we may
ODU would be. I don't know if they would be favored at home in Norfolk. I think they would beat us in Charlottesville. If they didn't beat us, it would be real close.
We've just got to. We just can't be. It's got to be 1-2 us and Virginia Tech. That's just what the state has to be, and we got to get back to that point. And we'll see. 4-8. We said at the start of the year, if we didn't get off 4 or 5-0 start, we didn't. But does 4-8? Does Coach Elliott? Is he gone?
No, but I think it will be. So here's the problem. Well, I want to go over this real quick before I talk about that. We ran a poll on Sunday, so the day after the game, and said, "How are we feeling today, Who fans?" Use the bye to finish strong. 27%. The season's over. We're 4-8. We suck. 51%. Fall is just preseason basketball. 14%. And then I hate my life. 8%.
I think maybe Antonio Appleby might be in there. But hey, listen, real quick on that too. And that's the other thing, and Jack said he thought we still could make a bowl. And I mean, I don't believe it, but God bless you. Virginia, just a couple weeks ago, we were listed when we played Louisville, we were like 52% to make a bowl game.
Yeah.
ESPN now has us at 10% to make.
And that's about 9 too high.
And that's about 9 too high. We're going to be double-digit underdog the rest of the way.
Yeah. I mean, even if you sneak up and beat Pitt at Pitt, or you sneak up and you beat SMU at home, you're not going to win at Notre Dame, and you're not winning at Virginia Tech.
They're going to have sustained success against Virginia Tech for me to pick us against Virginia Tech.
The only way they beat Virginia Tech is if Drones gets hurt early, and you're playing against a back, or he's hurt before they get, go into the game playing a backup. But and even then, it's no guarantee. It's because they still have Tootin.
I I really like Tony Elliott, human being Tony Elliott. I wish we were going to get just a sniff of what was going on at Clemson when he was there. I think that's why probably the press is a little softer with him, because he's a super nice guy. And when Tony Elliott left the media room, the questions poured in. There was a lot more direct questions to the players than there were to Coach Elliott. So, I mean, maybe because they're younger, they're easier to approach. But Coach Elliott's a super nice guy. I know he wants to win. I think he was brought to this program for a specific reason. We don't know, all the stars, how everything aligns. But, what happened, I think there's nobody better than him to handle that situation. And I think that's why he was brought to Virginia. But head coach material, I'm at the point. I'm tired of winning 4 games, Jay.
I know. And it's really disappointing. I'm not there yet, but if I was Des Kitchens, I would go ahead and hire a realtor. I'm not saying that Coach Elliott needs to hire a realtor just yet. But if I'm Des Kitchens, I'm getting a realtor. If I'm the special teams coach, I'm getting a realtor, because you don't win 4 games and nothing happened. You're not bringing back the band to run it back with 4 wins. Yeah,
Elliott's got to do something. He's got to shake it up.
Williams' contract complicates things, though, Jeff.
And
the rumors are that she's interviewing for other positions. Now, we don't have any insight to this. I'm just saying what the rumors are. But her contract expires in the spring.
Right.
So is she going to make a huge move at the end of the year, and then hire a new coach only to leave, if that's the case? You may, if you have any thought that you're going to leave, you shouldn't let Tony go, because the next person is going to want to bring in their head coach. So it's a tough position. You've got a pretty good recruiting class coming in. If you look at the rankings, though, it's still not like a highly ranked recruiting class. And I don't know if you saw what I posted today. Did you see where it's Michigan and somebody else going after the top quarterback recruit, and they're offering him, for 3 years between like $4 and $5 million.
It's the same thing at BYU.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're not willing to pay for the top tier guys, then you almost have to get lucky. You have to hit on a bunch of guys that are 3 stars. You have to hit, and you have to have the quarterback, and you got to have the offensive line.
You got to be able to coach them up.
Right. You got to be able to coach them when you get here. That's why I feel like Virginia is the perfect school to, and people are going to hate this, but they're the perfect school to run something gimmicky. And I'm not saying I want to see the triple option, but something that where teams don't see it all the time, and we can recruit a specific kind of kid.
It's just like Tony Bennett.
Right. It's the system. Virginia needs a system coach, because we're not going to get top-notch athletes all the time. It's just not going to happen. And Tony's not a system guy. Tony's he is what he is. I didn't understand the Dez hire when it was made. I don't think he's done a good job. And when you get hired as an offensive coordinator and the offense struggles, obviously you're going to take a lot of heat, but just things don't make sense. Like, think about the Bears, the Washington game on Sunday. Like, what the heck are you thinking with that ball on the goal line, and you got multiple good running backs, your quarterback 6'4", and you hand it off to the backup center like he's the Fridge Perry? Like, what are you doing? Like, that's stupid. Don't do stupid stuff. In shotgun, 1st and goal from the 1. That's just stupid. Don't do stupid stuff.
Right. Yep, we said it. Run.
Instead of drill, baby, drill, run, baby, run.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Halfback dive, halfback dive, halfback dive, or QB sneak.
I'm not halfback diving. They'll meet us in the backfield the way they were, they were kind of pushing us back.
So, and this is the other thing in Virginia, they moved the ball early, like they did against Carolina. And then once that script is gone, it's brutal. Like this offense, it's so bad. And I feel like it's so predictable. I don't know. I say it's predictable.
How good was Malik Washington?
I know. We were supposed to, when we came into the season offense, we were so excited about this offense with Cavalier bringing all those guys in. And it's been a bust.
Do we have more injuries or do we just lack the depth?
I think it's a little of both. We have a lot of.
We got to change something, and maybe the weight room is just the answer. Are we not stretching enough? Are we stretching too much? Are we not lifting? We need to be lifting heavier weights, or we need to be doing more reps with light weights. I don't know what we need to do to keep the guys healthy. More contact, less contact. But we whatever we're doing injury-wise, we get more guys hurt.
Every game, Cam Robinson's down for a play. Every game.
And that guy, yeah.
And I love him.
He said an interesting quote that he probably didn't mean anything by it, but after the Louisville loss, I want to play with winners.
Right.
And that rings in my ears because right now, it don't feel like winners in that locker room. They might be winning individuals and as a people, and we know that most of them, if not all of them, are. But daggone, man, I don't know what happened Saturday. I don't know why they didn't show up. It's not because Carolina's so much better than them, but that was just a turd that you got to flush.
Yeah. The one thing, and we've said it, I know I've said it at least, that helps take the sting out for me is just being able to cover the games, because at least I love Virginia sports.
Yeah.
I love covering it. I love going there. And thank God that I'm able to process losses better than I could 20 years ago, because I'm telling you.
Better than 5 years ago, even, really.
Yeah, I may be, have had the heart attack because the amount of ticked offness, the thought of driving home from Charlottesville on Saturday after that. But we had a good day. It was a nice day other than football. The whole family went to the game. We were able to get some family pictures in the stadium. We had a nice little dinner.
Sang the good old song once, twice, 3 times, lady.
But they sang it for the one touchdown.
Yeah.
There's a nice flyover. The weather was beautiful. And so and I got to see, some of the friends of the program, and Jackie and Jerry. So those are the positives, and it makes the day a lot better at the end, even though you're disappointed. And the other thing is, the game was so bad that, you're just, when the game ends, you're just like, all you can do is shrug your shoulders. Like, I've been prepared now for 3 quarters that this is coming.
Let me ask you this, Jeff. How many people show up for SMU? It's not a rivalry. It is senior day.
But temperature is probably gonna be a little cooler. I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead. I hate to say this.
It's hunting season.
30,000 at the max. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the announced might be 32, 33, but butts and seats no more than 25 probably. Unless you're halfway to your tattoo.
Now, if I'm halfway to my tattoo,
we get 6 wins going into that one.
I got to tell you. Boy, I'd have to be like, listen, for Christmas, Shannon, go ahead and just might as well pay for the tattoo, because I just bought myself a tattoo. I don't even know what a tattoo costs.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad. I don't have any, but I could tell you about what they cost.
That's the thing. I'm not too concerned about.
Can we get a full sleeve with like the rotunda, the V and the Sabres, maybe a light, maybe a picture of the football stadium on the arm, wrapped.
It's
with
the same.
hill, you know.
Sunday during the Commander game when Shannon was half watching the game and when we completed first of all, we had the ball, 30 or whatever to start. And she said, well, are they going to be able to attempt a field goal? I said, I'll put it this way. If they make a field goal here, I'm stripping naked and I'll go door to door through this whole neighborhood at every ring cam and I'll ring every doorbell. Then when they completed the one pass, I said, once again, because she asked, well, could they kick it from here? I said, once again. I said, they're not even attempting that. If they were to kick that, if they attempt it, I'll strip down and I'll go door to door and ring every ring doorbell. But now I'm in a tattoo situation if they go 4-0. There's a lot of folks out there. And then, I mean, if I'm going to get it, I might as well video it for the Cavalier Connection.
Absolutely. I will be there to videotape it.
It ain't happening. But listen, man. It ain't happening. Next week when we come on, next week it's still gonna be on the table because we got to buy this week. But so good week coming. Enjoy your Saturday, folks.
Yankees just hit a grand slam. 5-2.
So enjoy your weekend. You don't have to worry about Virginia football, and we'll be seeing you guys again on Friday where we're going to be talking a little basketball with it. And
is it Thursday? Or are we putting it
Wednesday, Friday? We'll drop this one. Drops
okay,
Wednesday,
gotcha.
And then Friday for the basketball episode. And hopefully there's not more bad news. We'll see. But
bad enough right now.
It's rough right now. So we'll see you guys on Friday. And
go visit CavalierGold.com, CavalierGold.com, CavalierGold.com.